let me break this down how I see it for a second, because the global economy is a mess. We have an energy crisis because of the war. The average American says they can't afford to pay their mortgage or their rent. Everything's getting more expensive, both because of the war and the tariffs. And it was already expensive before that, to be clear. And people are struggling and demanding that our leaders do something about it. And here's what I just wrote all this down while you were talking because I wanted to try to get as much of it down as I could. Here's what this administration is focused on all week. Donald Trump spent the entire week attacking the Pope. That's what he spent all week doing, either defending it, justifying it, getting all of his MAGA influencers to back him up and get like, for God's sakes, Franklin Graham had to release a statement and then backed up Trump because he's an absolute hack. I'm calling these people, by the way, so-called Christians going forward, because if you're defending this shit, you do not share any religion with me. Pete Hegseth is quoting pulp fake Bible quotes from Pulp Fiction and talking about how questioning Donald Trump is the same as questioning Jesus Christ, which is insane. Um, let's see. Howard Lutnick's like fighting for his life for his job right now because he got caught up in the Epstein files. So apparently he's on the chopping block right now. Cash Patel's getting drunk, and then we saw him partying at the Olympics a couple of weeks ago or a couple of months ago. I don't even have any concept of time anymore. But like he's getting drunk and needs to be bailed out of his own office. JD Vance is getting stood up by Erica Kirk at TPUSA events that are very poorly attended because nobody wants to see that little shit weasel. The labor secretary is on the verge of being fired for a sex scandal that she's in the middle of. Rubio is getting high at UFC fights and looking like a jackass. The acting attorney general, because we don't have an attorney general right now, is busy trying to cover up the Epstein files because he's Donald Trump's personal attorney. So like every single person at every single level of this government is dealing with a scandal. And I think there's two reasons it scares the shit out of me. One, I need these people to do their jobs. Okay. Like forget the politics for a second. Forget the fact that I don't like them, that I disagree with them on a myriad of policy issues, like whatever. I would like to know that the director of the FBI is trying to prevent a terrorist attack, okay? Because I love my wife, I love my kid, I love myself. I don't want to die in a terrorist attack. And my dad served in the FBI for 34 years. This is not my father's FBI. Okay. He's turned it into a pedestrian law enforcement organization that is not out there taking down terrorists and drug traffickers and sex traffickers. They're policing drunk girls in Georgetown who probably, if Cash Patel could, he'd be partying with them right now.
True.
And the second thing is, and I'll hand it back to you, Adam, is all of these scandals, all of these defects, like the alcoholism for Hegseth and Cash Patel and probably others in this cadre of morons, makes them susceptible to to extortion.
Yeah.
Okay. By people like Jeffrey Epstein, by people like foreign governments. Like we know that there is foreign manipulation inside this administration right now. When you can't explain the decisions that they're making, it's either because of self-interest or it's because they're being bribed to do so. That's it, period. And so do they have photos of Cash Patel being drunk somewhere and they're forcing him to do something? Do they have that for anybody else? These are real questions that I have. Tom Homan took a $50,000 cash bribe from private prison companies. Okay. And the DOJ covered that up. So you go on and on and on. It's just the worst possible people with the worst possible defects who are absolutely being extorted right now. It's just unbelievable.